and the Todd Family YouTube video, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing. Thank you so much for making Rev Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. If you jump on here live here on this Monday evening, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure you give the video a like. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and share the video on social media platforms. And my wife just pulled up outside, so if y'all hear a dog in the background barking, nothing is wrong. It's just our dog doing what dogs do when they hear cars and doors shut and bark. Good evening, Keveron. Glad to have you here. As always, how many teams are going to go undefeated in the world of college football this year? I'll talk about that coming up here in a couple of minutes. Please stay tuned for that. But first, a couple other things very quickly. The NASCAR race yesterday. Go bowling at the Glen from Watkins Glen, which used to be in June or July. Now that race is in mid-May. And Shane Van Gisbergen comes in, followed by Michael McDowell, Ty Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, Austin Dillon, AJ Allmendinger, Kyle Busch, Austin Cindric, and John Hunter Nemechek. Now, a quick Braves review. I'm going to be doing some quick Braves reviews until either the division race gets closer, or until the playoffs get closer, or until they get a lot of their injured players off the injured list, because right now it's mid-May. They've got a 9-game lead in the division. You have the Nationals and the Marlins and the Phillies all tied for second place, 9 games back. You know, Ronald Acuna Jr. is hurt, but he was struggling when he got hurt. He was hitting almost 250 with 2 home runs and like 5 RBI, so it's not like he. But he's hurt. It's mid-May. Austin Riley is hitting 213 with 5 home runs. He's terrible. Got Sean Murphy off the injured list for whatever reason. He's already had 2 errors for catcher's interference, and he's hitting .071. So he's done nothing of relevance, and the Braves are still 28-13. Spencer Schwellenbach is still hurt. Hurston Waldrop is still hurt, and A.J. Smith-Shawver is still hurt. So there really ain't a whole lot to talk about with the Braves until, you know, Acuna and Riley, the supposed stars, start performing, and the injured pitchers come back, and the division race gets closer. Right now, they're just running away with it. But as far as college football goes, I saw this article earlier today, and it caught my attention because I did a video, I guess it's been about 3 weeks ago now, where I talked about the over-unders for every team in the Power 4 conferences, and I went over every single team in the Power 4 conferences and gave their predicted over-under win total. Hey there, I'm going to hope that's Yanara. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I do not recognize your name, so maybe it's your first time here. If it is, thank you so much for being here. And for whatever reason you decided not to stop by the channel, thank you very much. And I appreciate the compliment, Jocelyn. I'll make sure I let my wife know that you said that. She does most of the decorations in the house. The only ones that I do is the Clemson decorations. If it's orange or purple, I did it. Everything else she does. But Jocelyn, I also think you're new to the channel, so thank you so much for being here. And you and Yanara, I hope y'all decide to come back other times, and make sure you give the video a like, a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends and family about the channel. Make sure you share the video on all social media platforms, and make sure you click that bell so that you'll be notified each time we go live here on the channel. But I found this article, and it listed their predictions of every single team's win-loss total down to 6-6. They didn't go worse than 6-6, but they had every team that was going to be 12-0, 11-1, 10-2, 9-3, 8-4, 7-5, and 6-6. I might make this a two-part video. I don't know. Right now, I've written down 12-0, 11-1, 10-2, and 9-3. And I stopped there because honestly, until they expand the playoffs and totally destroy the regular season and 7-5 teams go to the playoffs, which is going to happen, I don't know if any 8-4 or 7-5 teams are going to go to the playoffs now with it still being 12 teams. So I feel like anybody worse than 9-3 is probably not going. So I don't know if there's much reason to discuss who's going 8-4, 7-5, unless I do the 12-0s and 11-1s, 10-2s, and 9-3s, and your team's not on there, and you wonder what your team's record's going to be. Then there might be a reason to talk about it. Hey there, Jocelyn, you wish more people can join. Well, they can. That's the good thing about going live, Jocelyn, is that some people comment, some don't, some go back and watch later. But anybody that wants to come on here, they can. And, I never go live at a certain time, but it's usually between 7 p.m. Eastern time and 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. So depending on where you are, with knowing, what time it is in your area. But it's usually between 7 and 10:30 Eastern time every night when I go live. Every once in a while it's earlier. Every once in a while it's later, but it's usually somewhere in that 3.5 hour, time range. But some people are busy then. Some people are working then. Some folks go to bed early. Some folks watch primetime TV. So, if you got your TV on and you've clicked the bell and you get notified you can watch, you can always go back and watch later. But I always appreciate the ones that come on here and comment live, and the channel is slowly but surely growing. And I appreciate that very much for all of you to put the word out about the channel. But if my counting is correct, there's 35 teams on this list of 12-0, 11-1, 10-2, 9-3, and with 12 teams going to the playoffs and 9-3 or better, out of these 35 teams, that's your 12 teams in the playoffs. But the only team that's 12-0 is Texas Tech. Now, when I did every team's over under a few weeks back, Texas Tech was picked to win 11.5 games. And I even mentioned on that video that they were the only team picked to be 11.5 wins. And that's really good. But since that's happened, their quarterback has had to go to rehab. And last check, a couple hours ago, there's still no definitive answer on whether or not he's going to play or not. If the NCAA sticks to the rule book, he won't be able to play. But you kind of wonder if they've got Texas Tech to go 12-0. Did they predict this before he got, rehab? Or do they think he's going to play? Or is it they don't care? Texas Tech is so much better than the rest of the Big 12. Even without Kirby, they're still going 12-0. They're the only team to pick to go 12-0. Then 11-1, we've got Alabama, Boise State, BYU, LSU, Miami, Notre Dame, and UNLV. 10-2, we've got Georgia, Indiana, James Madison, Kansas State, Michigan, Navy, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Oregon, Penn State, and Pittsburgh. Then at 9-3, there is, if I'm counting correctly, 16 teams that'll go 9-3. We got Arizona, Clemson, East Carolina, Georgia Southern, Houston, Illinois, Liberty, Louisiana, Louisville, Miami of Ohio, NC State, Oklahoma, San Diego State, SMU, TCU, and USC. Now, as I said earlier, That's 35 teams. You got a 12-team playoff. So out of those 35 teams, 12 of them I just named will go to the playoffs and be your playoff field. Now, we know with all the big time teams on here, you know that there's just no way. If these 35 teams are 9-3 and better, there's no way that you see James Madison and East Carolina and Georgia Southern and Liberty and Louisiana and Miami of Ohio and San Diego State all in the playoffs. There's too many or 4 teams ahead of them. But if all of those teams could go 9-3 or better, you might see a couple of them go to the playoffs. Probably not the ones I just mentioned, but they've got Boise State 11-1 and UNLV 11-1. I could see one of those two, getting in possibly. But out of those 35 teams, 12 of them would be your playoff field. But that caught my attention because, I usually do 20 or 25 prediction videos between late March, early April, and the start of the season. But I never, ever, ever pick anybody to go undefeated. It's just too hard to do. I've already did, I think, 6 prediction videos this year, and I haven't picked anybody to go undefeated. I am aiming to go 11-1, but not undefeated because it's too hard to do. But any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. I am forever disappointed that Chef Bobby Flay didn't name his daughter Sue. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be